Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Hey, welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. Guess who? It's me, your host, Jimmy Apple. How you feeling today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. Hey, today I'm not bringing you a full episode of An Apple a Day. Today I'm just bringing you a bit, a bite, a slice of the apple. I want to let you know what's happening on the next episode of An Apple a Day. We have got a very, very, very nice lady. She's the author of a new book called Who is Zora? Sight Unseen. That's right. Zora Natanblut. She is the author of this book, and it's a phenomenal book. This lady was born legally blind, and she didn't know she was legally blind until she was in the second grade. That's right. She went through her childhood legally blind. And you're probably saying, how in the heck did that happen? How could she have gone that? You're thinking to yourself, that's nonsense. No, it's not. She grew up in a time where parents didn't admit that there was anything wrong with their kids. She grew up in a time where it was like, don't ask, don't tell. It's not like now where parents, if the kid farts wrong, they're running to a doctor. Back then, no one wanted to admit anything. I grew up in the 60s, and it was still like that. I can remember I had a friend of mine live next door. His mother was pregnant, and everyone in the neighborhood was excited. When she went into labor, the ambulance came, they picked her up, they took her to the hospital. And back then, women stayed in the hospital for 3 or 4 days when they gave birth. And when she came home, everyone's waiting to see this new baby. But she came home, no baby. And you're wondering what happened. Everyone's thinking the worst. But don't ask, don't tell. That's the way it was back then. So it was like almost a year. And my friend Bobby let it slip that he had a little brother. And we were like, well, where's your little brother? And he said, in a hospital. So I went home and I was saying to my parents at the dinner table, I said, Bobby says he's got a little brother, and the little brother's in the hospital. My father was like, don't you talk about that. Don't ever say anything about it again. I don't ever want to hear it again. I was like, well, okay. It was years later I found out that Bobby's little brother was born with Down syndrome, and the parents just never brought him home. They put him in this hospital that they thought was the best thing for him. Turned out to be the most wretched place in the world, called Letchworth Village. Actually, there was an episode on Ghost Adventures about Letchworth Village. It was horrible, the place. Absolutely horrible. But people, when kids were born with a disease, they didn't bring them home back then. They just shoved them off. I don't even know if they even ever visited him. I know years later, and I'm talking about 30, 40 years later, all of a sudden, this kid came home. But also, that coincided with they closed up Letchworth Village, because they found that the kids were being abused. Some of them were killed there, and the state closed the place up. But that also happened back in that time if a girl got pregnant, because there was no such thing as abortion. If a girl got pregnant, they got sent off to go visit their aunt or their grandparents in another state or another country or something, never to be heard from again. They went off, they had the baby, and they lived a different life. But that's how it was in Zora's case. They didn't acknowledge that she had an eyesight problem until the teachers got involved, and they said, you have to go have her eyes checked. But anyway, it's an amazing story, and I want you to listen to this. Listen to this, and I'll be back with you in a second.
Who is Zora? Zora was born legally blind, a secret that was kept from her by her parents and never spoken about in her family. She discovered it herself at age 8 in school. Zora hated being labeled disabled, and suffered through having to read and go to school where she was bullied and called names. But Zora was not one to let others get the best of her, and she set out to prove to herself, more than anyone, that she was able. She persisted in getting her PhD in holistic health and became a holistic physical therapist who has helped hundreds of clients reach beyond their disabilities to achieve new possibilities. What she's been able to accomplish has inspired her mission to dis in disability. In her new book, Zora shares her personal transformation from suffering, anger, fear, resentment, and self-judgment to her growing self-acceptance, freedom, fearlessness, love, and gratitude. You'll be inspired to make changes in your own life to bring more happiness and fulfillment. Each chapter has action exercises to bring these lessons to life, including making peace with the past while living in the present, setting your sights high enough for transformation to occur, relinquishing old outdated stories to expand your perspective, recognizing that with age comes wisdom, insight, and healing. Make sure you're here for the next episode of An Apple a Day when Zora sits down with Jimmy Apple to discuss her book, Who is Zora, Sight Unseen. You're not gonna want to miss this interview. Believe me.
Dave's right. You're not going to want to miss this next episode. This story by Zora is an inspiration. Not only does she face the obstacles, she gets over it. She gets around it. She gets under it. She gets by the obstacle and she tells you about it. But here's something else. For all those that listen to this next interview, that listens to the interview with Zora, she's got a free gift for anyone that listens to the interview. And there's no strings attached, nothing to buy, nothing. She's giving you a free gift at the end of the interview. So listen to this interview. You're going to be amazed by her story. You're going to want to buy her book. But it's not necessary to buy the book to get the free gift. That's how nice Zora is. She is such a sweetheart. But her book is a real page turner. It's a warm book. It really is. Once you start reading it, you're not going to want to put it down. I'm telling you that right now. It's such a nice book. Whether you're disabled or not, it's a nice story. But she's an inspiration to all of us. If you have a disability and this book doesn't inspire you, then there's something wrong with you. Because as a young person, a very young person, she saw the obstacles in front of her and she didn't let them stop her. And she still doesn't, to this day, she still doesn't let the obstacles stop her. So if this doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. But be with us on the next episode and hear this lady talk. She'll mesmerize you. Her voice will mesmerize you. So just imagine what her book will do for you. Okay? Thanks a lot for stopping by today, and I will talk to you in a couple of days. You've been listening to A Slice of the Apple. My name is Jimmy Apple. I'll talk to you in a few days, my friends. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.